What's up, Wildlife Builders? In this video, we are going to talk about Nasus. Nasus is an imposing jackal-headed ascended being from ancient Shurima. He is a heroic figure regarded as a demigod by the people of the desert. Nasus is a scaling monster which only gets stronger as the game goes by thanks to the unlimited attacking potential with his siphoning strike. He can easily run down carries and towers if left unchecked. Let's talk about his abilities. First is his passive, Soul Eater. Soul Eater grants Nasus a substantial amount of physical vamp. The passive works in conjunction with the high damage provided by his siphoning strike. This helps him sustain his weak early game, and when he is stacked up, the strong damage from his first ability heals him for a large amount. And speaking of the first ability, Siphoning Strike. Siphoning Strike is Nasus' signature skill. This ability is what gives Nasus his late game godlike potential, where he can literally two-shot opponents if he is left unchecked. Nasus' early game is really weak to compensate with his late game potential, so you should focus on last hitting using Siphoning Strike first. This ability is an auto-attack reset, which increases his damage output, and because of this, it may be tempting to trade with the enemy using Siphoning Strike. But it is actually an unwise decision for most cases because you will be foregoing a stack just to damage your opponent. The wisest option is to freeze your lane and unleash your wrath in the mid to late game. Remember to always last hit a cannon or siege minion using Siphoning Strike because it gives double stack. His second ability is Wither. Wither is an underrated ability of Nasus. It slows down the attack speed and movement speed of the target enemy for a fairly long duration. Call a gank when you are being oppressed into your tower because a simple Wither and a gank to an overextended opponent is an easy takedown. In the late game, reserve your Wither for the enemy's ADC so you can reduce their damage output, and it will make it easier for your team to kill the enemy ADC during the duration of Wither. This ability will actually allow you to 1v1 any ADC in the late game and come out on top. Next is his third ability, Spirit Fire. Spirit Fire deals AoE damage and reduces the armor of those affected by it. This ability is your and your tower's lifeline in the early game. Use Spirit Fire when you are being pushed into your tower so you can manage it faster. Also, use it to last hit the cannons or siege minion if you are being zoned away from it. In the mid and late game, use it to shove waves faster, and use it in combination with Wither for duels to deal more damage with your Siphoning Strike. Finally, his ultimate, Fury of the Sands. Fury of the Sands gives Nasus his godlike stature as it grants him increased health, armor, magic resist, and it grants him an immolation effect that deals magic damage to nearby enemies based on their HP. It also reduces the cooldown of your Spirit Siphon by half. Not to mention, it literally increases his size, which makes Nasus a literally imposing being. Activate it while in the middle of the fight, but don't wait too long to use it. Use it while you have more than 70% health so you can make the most out of it. Best case scenario, you'll stomp them out, and worst case scenario is you'll create space for your team to push or take objectives. Now for Nasus' items. His first item is Trinity Force. This item grants Nasus everything he needs: the attack damage, health, cooldown reduction, attack speed, and the flurry of movement speed bonus, which is all great for him. The high gold cost is not an issue for Nasus because you are supposed to farm for the whole early game stage. However, if you lost your lane hard or have a physical damage enemy who becomes fed in the early game, you may substitute your item with Iceborne Gauntlet for the additional armor and utility. His boots option is Boots of Sweetness, which grants the highest amount of movement speed to further increase your ability to run down your opponents. Upgrade with a Teleport enchant for a split pushing strategy, or upgrade with a Glorious enchant for a more aggressive playstyle. Next is Deadman's Plate. The bonus movement speed and added slow effect on your attack thanks to the Crushing Blow passive helps with Nasus' issue of being kited easily. Next, get Spirit Visage, as this item is your go-to anti-AP item because it synergizes with your passive by increasing all the healing you receive, including physical vamp. Get Death's Dance to increase your lifesteal further, and grant the Cauterized passive, which converts burst damage into DPS to help you survive being in the middle of a clash. And finally, Guardian Angel, to grant you a second life once in a while thanks to the Resurrect passive. This allows for reckless praise with your ultimate. As for the runes, Grasp of the Undying deals increased damage and heals you on your attack every 4 seconds in combat. This rune is useful for sustaining short trades in the early game and extended duels in the late game. Gathering Storm grants increasing bonus AD as time passes by, which is perfect for Nasus' time bomb-like nature. Spirit Walker grants bonus HP and slow resistance, which synergizes with Boots of Swiftness. You may also get Hunter Titan, which is a good substitute when against CC heavy team comps because it grants tenacity and a little bit of HP for each unique takedown. By the way, if you are getting Hunter Titan, it is best to get Mercury Shreds as your boots instead. Finally, get Sweet Tooth as it grants additional healing and bonus gold when eating honey fruits to aid your early game. That's all for this video. For the in-depth Nasus text guide, visit our website lolwildriftbuild.com. There you'll find out additional information like Nasus' pros and cons, ability progression, early game and late game guide, and his synergies and his counters. It's right there in the description below. Until next time!